You're not too much. You're not too broken. You don't need to be fixed in order to be loved. You don't have to hide the parts of you that still ache, the memories that still sting, or the fears that show up uninvited. The right kind of love doesn't flinch at your mess. It doesn't ask you to be smaller, quieter, or easier to carry. It doesn't hand you a checklist of what you need to fix before you're worthy. There are people in this world who won't run from your chaos. They'll sit right beside it. They won't demand that you get it all together. They'll simply choose to stay, right there in the thick of it without needing to fix you. Because everyone is carrying something. Every person you meet has a story behind their smile, a scar they rarely show, a wound that still whispers late at night. But we've been taught to hide it all, haven't we? We've been conditioned to perform strength, to pretend that we've moved on, healed, overcome. We wear masks labeled fine and confident and in control. We show the highlight reels of our lives and keep the behind-the-scenes footage buried deep. Why? Because somewhere along the line we learned that being too real meant being too risky. That if we showed who we truly are, flawed, fragile, and human, we'd be left behind. So we hide. We edit ourselves. We try to become easier to love. And in the process, we silence the parts of us that are most in need of being seen. But what if that's not true? What if the people who are meant to stay are the ones who don't get scared off when you stop pretending? What if love isn't earned by being perfect, but revealed by being honest? There are rare people, the ones who see the cracks and still lean in. They won't try to fix your sadness, they'll just sit with it. They'll offer presence, not pressure. Space, not solutions. Their love won't be loud. It won't come rushing in with fireworks or fancy words. It will arrive quietly, in the form of steady presence, eye contact that doesn't look away, silence that feels safe, not awkward, arms that hold, not heal. But here's where it gets complicated. When someone finally sees you, truly sees you, and doesn't walk away, it can terrify you. Because when you've spent years building walls, love feels dangerous. Being fully seen means being fully vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel like a threat when all you've ever known is survival. So what do? We self-sabotage. We test them. We pull away. We create distance just to see if they'll still reach for us. We convince ourselves we're unlovable before they get the chance to. But maybe the truth is this: some people don't need you to be easy. They just need you to be real. You've probably spent years trying to be enough. Enough to be chosen, enough to be kept, enough to feel safe. You've performed strength when you were falling apart. You've swallowed your needs so you wouldn't seem needy. You've dimmed your light so no one would call you too much. And now when someone finally sees you, really sees you, and chooses to stay, your first instinct is to push them away. Not because you don't want love, but because you don't trust it. Because love that stays feels unfamiliar. It doesn't match the story you've told yourself. That people only want the polished version of you. That if you're soft or complicated or still healing, they'll eventually leave. So when someone stays, your nervous system lights up like a warning signal. You brace for impact. You assume it's temporary. You wait for them to change their mind, and just to be sure, you might even help them leave. Not on purpose, of course. But you test them. You grow quiet. You start pulling back, creating space, giving them reasons to walk away. You tell yourself it's protection. You'd rather ruin it now than be surprised later. But love, the real kind, doesn't scare that easily. It won't be fooled by your defenses. It won't shrink back when you get hard to love. The people meant to stay won't flinch when you start showing your shadows. They won't confuse your fear for rejection. They'll see it for what it is, a scar from a life that taught you love was conditional. And here's the thing. When you meet someone who sees all of you and stays anyway, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the same old story. Push them away. Prove yourself right. End up alone. The other? That one leads to healing. But healing asks for risk. It asks you to lean in even when you want to run. To speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. To stay soft, even when your past begs you to harden. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love. You don't have to be fully healed to be held. Some people will love the version of you that isn't finished yet. Not because they here to fix you, but because they know love doesn't wait for perfection. It shows up when you're brave enough to be seen. And that kind of love, it's rare, but it's real. So the next time someone shows up and sees you, not the version you perform, but the real, raw, unsure you, pause before you pull away. Breathe. Let them in, even if just a little. Because maybe, just maybe, they're not here to save you. Maybe they're here to sit beside you while you save yourself. When you've lived a life guarding your heart, letting someone in can feel like handing over the most fragile part of yourself with trembling hands. Not because you're weak, but because you've learned to survive by being strong. You've learned to anticipate loss before it happens, to pull away before anyone else has the chance to. But the truth is, love that heals doesn't come charging through your walls. It waits patiently on the other side. It doesn't demand entry. It doesn't rush. It doesn't ask you to be anything other than who you are, right now. That kind of love doesn't speak in grand declarations, it speaks in consistency. It shows up in small ways. Text messages that say thinking of you, showing up when it's inconvenient, staying when you feel hardest to be around. It shows up in silence, in shared stillness, in eye contact that doesn't waver. And yes, it will scare you. You'll want to run. You'll look for all the cracks in it, try to prove it can't last. But that is not because it is wrong. It is because it feels different from what you've known. It's not performative. It doesn't require you to hide your fear or force a smile. When someone stays, not despite your wounds, but with full awareness of them, a quiet part of you will begin to question everything you once believed. Maybe I'm not too much. Maybe I don't need to shrink. Maybe I'm allowed to be loved in this exact moment as I am. But here's the challenge. Receiving that kind of love takes more bravery than giving it. It means surrendering the old narrative, the one where you had to earn affection, perform worth, or chase validation. To let someone love you in your rawness, your doubt, your imperfection, is to risk everything you once used to protect yourself. But in that risk lies something extraordinary. Freedom. The freedom to show up without armor. The freedom to speak without editing yourself. The freedom to ask for what you need and believe you're not a burden. And yes, it's still possible they might leave. That fear may never vanish completely. But letting love in isn't about guaranteeing outcomes. It's about choosing to believe, even just for today, that you are worth staying for. It's about allowing someone to walk beside you without needing to carry you. It's about seeing love not as a rescue mission, but as a quiet partnership, where both people get to be human. So if you find someone who doesn't flinch at your silence, who doesn't turn away when you tremble, who sees your fear and stays anyway, don't to push them away just because your past tells you to. Let them in, bit by bit, breath by breath, even if it feels unnatural, even if it terrifies you. Because sometimes the people who stay aren't trying to fix your broken pieces. They're just gently reminding you that you were never broken in the first place. Letting love in doesn't always look like fireworks or declarations. Sometimes it looks like someone quietly noticing you, we had a hard day, and offering you their silence instead of solutions. Sometimes it's a warm hand on your back, a shared laugh that softens the weight of the world, or a moment of stillness where no one's trying to fix anything. Just be there. Real love isn't loud. It's not always dramatic or dazzling. It's gentle, it's steady. It knows how to sit beside pain without trying to erase it. It knows how to witness your sorrow without making it about itself. And it knows that your heart doesn't need a hero. It needs a safe place to land. You don't have to perform. You don't have to keep proving your worth. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. You are already enough, even in the moments you feel like a mess, especially in those moments. When someone offers you love in your most unguarded state, you'll be tempted to run, not because it's wrong, but because it's real. And real means risk. Real means it might not last. Real means you'll have to be brave enough to receive it, not knowing what tomorrow holds. But maybe instead of guarding your heart so tightly, you can let it open, just a little. Maybe you can trust that not everyone wants to take something from you. That some people just want to hold space for who you truly are. Letting someone in doesn't mean losing yourself. It means sharing yourself. It means believing that your softness isn't a liability, it's a gift. And the right person won't just tolerate your vulnerability, they'll treasure it. Because the love that matters doesn't demand that you be more or different or healed. It meets you where you are. It doesn't shrink back when you're quiet or complicated or unsure. It simply says, I'm here. That kind of connection is rare. And when it comes, it won't knock the wind out of you. It'll ground you. It will feel less like falling and more like arriving, not in someone else, but in yourself, in the version of you that no longer has to hide. So don't let fear convince you that you're unworthy. Don't let your past keep you locked behind walls that were only meant to protect you temporarily. You don't have to be easy to love. You just have to be honest. And the people who are meant for you will find their way through the mess, not around it. Your heart isn't broken beyond repair. It's just waiting for the right hands. Gentle enough to hold it, strong enough not to let go, and wise enough to know it was never theirs to fix. So when they come, let them sit beside you. Let them see the parts you usually hide. Not because they will save you, but because they'll remind you that you never had to save yourself alone. And in that stillness, in that trust, in that quiet companionship, you'll finally feel it. Not passion, not perfection, but peace.